Circling wing is against a rear two-hand choke with the arms bent, like so. So unlike twirling wings, where it's a Frankenstein on the shoulder, in this case, it's around the neck and the arms are bent. Now, there's two schools of thought on this, or potentially there are a couple of ways, as always, we can look at this. One of the ways is you're being pulled in and held tight, so your move is to step and go against the fingers in this case. Now, that's quite a strong grab to go against, but the idea would be that you take a step forward to extend and relieve the pressure on that choke. The other side of it is potentially where we said, even in twirling wings, the person could be pulling you back in. In this case, they could actually be driving you forward. And that forward step or forward momentum is what sets off the response in the technique. Regardless of how it is, the attack is this. And then after that, we figure it out in what ifs and everything else that comes with it. The way the technique works, however, I'm going to do it from this angle so we can see it, is I am either stepping or being pushed to a point where I need to step. I'm going to step with my left foot over towards 1 o'clock at this point. As I step, the question here also can be, am I essentially checking the hand? Some people do check, other people don't check. In this case, when I step, I'm going to check the hand here. I'm going to go to 1 o'clock. That's going to essentially end up with the person extended and also falling forward off their base, which is what we want. So we want to disturb them as much as anything else on this one, like any of our techniques. Once we turn, we're going to come over the top with our circling wing, in this case, and we're going to pin across the arms. So their arms are essentially like this. We're going to pin across their right arm in this instance. This is basically going to be a trap here with this elbow. So once I take that step, we're going to have that circle over and we're going to have that trap coming down. So their forearm potentially under our arm, or elbow to forearm under our armpit here in this case. Once we do that, we're going to drive forward with a poke to the eyes into a forward bow. We're going to hit a left poke to the eyes. From here, then, we're going to come back with a right upward elbow. And then from here, we're going to circle around that arm. So we're higher than the shoulder here or higher than the arm. We're going to circle around that line and we're going to drop and hit a hammer strike to the groin at this point. So again, we're going to take our step. We're going to turn. As we turn and circle this, we're going to trap and we're going to drive a poke into the eyes. From here, then, we're going to hit our upward elbow. And we're keeping this hand for safety purposes as always. And then we're going to drop and we're going to hit our hammer strike low at this point as well. So again, there's a few different things potentially in here. You could also be looking at things like relationships with other techniques down the line, like cross twigs, for example. Cross twigs has a very similar step, except that it's a double low grab from behind in this case. And we have an elbow coming over. Now, the elbow first hits and then pulls through into this downward elbow and so on and so forth. So there's lots of different things that we can say. You know, circling wing is a grab on the high line and we're stepping and we're going from here. You know, you have it as a choke, then you have your grab down below, you have the same step with an elbow into this circling maneuver here, and then coming in on a different line because the person is lower than you. So again, all variations we could have. You could also have potentially elements of twisted twig in there, which we've covered in the past. There's your upward elbow, there's your outward elbow, there's your hammer. In this case now, we forgo the middle elbow. We don't need it. So we have our upward into our hammer. Again, we're repeating a lot of movements that we would have had earlier as well, and just resequencing them, which is the beauty of what we do.